Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the NCCC Theater Arts production of The Diary of Anne Frank. Please take a moment to locate the emergency exits to the right and left of the house. The performance is approximately 2 hours with one 15-minute intermission. At this time, we ask that you please turn off all electronic devices. For the safety of our performers, the use of any video recording or flash photography is strictly prohibited. Please be advised that the use of flashing lights and loud noises are used intermittently throughout the performance. Please visit the Performing Arts webpage on the college website for more information about future theater, dance, and music performances, and follow NCCC Theater Arts on Facebook and Instagram for information and updates. Thank you, and please enjoy The Diary of Anne Frank.
Mr. Frank?
Yes, me. Yes.
Everyone in the office has gone home. It's after 6. Don't stay up here, Mr. Frank. What's the use of torturing yourself like this?
I've come to say goodbye. I'm leaving here, me.
What do you mean? Where are you going? Where?
I don't know yet. I haven't decided.
You can't leave here, Mr. Frank. This is your home. Amsterdam is your home. Your business is here waiting for you. You're needed here. Now that the war is over, there are things that...
I can't stay in Amsterdam, Meep. There are too many memories for me. The house we grew up in, the school, the street organ playing out there. I'm not the same person we used to know, Meep. I'm a bitter old man. Forgive me, I shouldn't speak to you like this. Not of all you've done for us. It's the suffering.
No, it wasn't suffering. You can't say that we suffered.
I know what you went through. You and Mr. Crawler. I'll remember it for as long as I live. Come, Lee.
Mr. Frank, did you see there are some of your papers here? We found them in a heap of rubbish on the floor after you left.
Burn some.
But, Mr. Frank, there are letters, notes.
Burn some. All of them.
Burn this?
It's on his diary. Monday is the 6th of July, 1942. 1942? Is that possible, me? Only 3 years ago. Dear Diary, since you and I are going to be great friends, I will start by telling you about myself. My name is Anna Frank. I am 13 years old. I was born in Germany the 12th of June, 1929. As my family is Jewish, we emigrated to Holland when Hitler came to power. My father started a business importing spice and herbs. Things went well for us until 1940. Then the war came and the Dutch defeat, followed by the arrival of the Germans. Then things got very bad for the Jews.
You could not do this, you could not do that. They forced father out of his business. We had to wear yellow stars. I had to turn in my bike. I couldn't go to a Dutch school anymore. I couldn't go to the movies or ride in an automobile or even on a streetcar and a million other things. But somehow we children still managed to have fun. Yesterday, father told me we were going into hiding. Where he wouldn't say. At 5 o'clock this morning, mother woke me up and told me to hurry and get dressed. I was to put on as many clothes as I could. It would look too suspicious if we walked along carrying suitcases. It wasn't until we were on our way that I learned where we were going. Our hiding place was to be upstairs, in the building where father had his business. 3 other people were coming with us, the Fandans and their son Peter. Father knew the Fandans, but we had never met them.
Something's happened to them. I know it.
Now, Carolee,
Mr. Frank said they'd be here at 7 o'clock. He said...
they had 2 miles to walk. You can't expect...
They've been picked up. That's what's happened. They've been taken.
You see, Mrs. Von Don, Mrs. Von Don, there were too many of the Green police on the streets. We had to take the long way around.
Anna.
My wife, Edith, Mr. and Mrs. Von Don, their son Peter, my daughters Margaret, and I.
I'm sorry, there's still so much confusion.
Please don't secret. After all, we'll have plenty of leisure to arrange everything ourselves.
I put the stores of food you sent in here. Your drugs are here. Soap, linen, here. Thank you, me. I made up the beds the way Mr. Frank and Mr. Caller said. Forgive me, I have to hurry. I have to go to the other side of town to get some ration books for you.
Ration books? If they see our names on ration books, they'll know we're here.
Don't worry.
But there isn't
Virgos,
anything
your
to-
names won't be on them. I'll be up later.
Thank you, Neve.
They're illegal then, the ration books. We've never done anything illegal.
We won't be living exactly according to regulation here.
This isn't the black market, Mrs. Frank. This is what we call the white market, helping the hundreds and hundreds hiding throughout Amsterdam.
It's the Vestertoren.
I must go. I must be out of here and downstairs before the workmen arrive. Me or I, or both of us, will be up each day to bring you food and news and find out what your needs are. Tomorrow I'll get you a better bolt for the door at the foot of the stairs. It needs to be one you can throw yourself and open only at our signal. Oh, you'll tell them about the noise.
I'll tell them.
Goodbye then, for the moment. I'll be back up once the workmen leave.
Bye, Mr. Caller.
How can we thank you?
I never thought I'd live to see the day where a man like Mr. Frank would have to go into hiding. When you think about...
What did he mean about the noise?
First, let's just take off some of these clothes.
You know, it's a wonder we weren't arrested walking along these streets. Petronella at the fur cone July, and that cat of Pater's crying all the way.
Cat? Anna, please.
It's all right. I've gotten 3 more.
Now, about the noise. Those men in the workroom below must have complete quiet. Every sound can be heard down there, not only in the workrooms, but in the offices as well. The men come about 8:30 and leave about 5:30, so just to be safe from 8 in the morning until 6 in the evening, we must have complete quiet. We must move only when it's necessary and then in stockinged feet. We cannot run any water, do any dishes, or even, forgive me, use the WC. The pipes go down through the workrooms, it will be heard. No trash. No trash must ever be thrown out that might alert someone that we are living in the building. Not even a potato pack. All trash must be burned in the stove at night. And this is how we must live until it is over, if we are to survive.
Until it is over.
After 6, we can talk and laugh and eat and play just as we would at home. Now, I think it would be best if we waited if we would go to our rooms and get settled in before 8 o'clock. Mrs. Von Dahl, you and your husband will be upstairs. I regret that there's no room up there for Peter, but he'll be upstairs, downstairs with us.
And where do you and Mrs. Frank sleep?
This room will also be our bedroom.
No, this is your
That's not
place.
right. We'll sleep down here. You take the room upstairs.
Oh, please, don't think of it. I've thought about this for weeks. It's the best arrangement. It's the only arrangement.
Never can we thank you. I'm not sure what would have happened to us if it hadn't been for Mr. Frank.
You don't know how much your husband helped me when I first came to this country. Knowing no one, unable to speak the language, I can never repay him for that. May I help you with the things?
Oh, no, no. Come along, Leafia.
You'll be all right, Peter? You're not afraid?
Mother, please.
You two must have some rest, David. You didn't sleep at all last night. Neither you, Margaret.
I slept, Father. Isn't that funny? I knew it was the last night in my own bed, and yet I still slept soundly.
I'm glad you can have me straight taking care of that. You and Margaret will sleep in this room for the time being.
You're sure. I could help, really. And Anna hasn't had her milk yet.
I'll give it to her. Anna, Peter, it's best that you take off your shoes now before you forget.
You're sure you're not tired, Anna?
I feel fine. I'm going to help Father.
Peter, I'm glad you are to be with us.
Yes, Mrs. Frank.
What's your cat's name?
Mushi.
Mushy, mushy, mushy. Oh, I love cats. I have one, a darling cat, but they had me leave her behind. I left some food and a note for the neighbors to take care of her. I'm going to miss her terribly. What is yours, a him or a her?
He's a Tom. He doesn't like strangers.
Well, then I'll have to stop being a stranger, won't I? Is he fixed?
Huh?
Did you have him fixed?
No.
Oh, you ought to have him fixed to keep him from fighting. What school did you go to?
Jewish secondary.
That's where Margaret and I went. I never saw you there.
I used to see you. Sometimes.
You did?
In a schoolyard. You're always in the middle of a group of kids.
Why didn't you ever come over?
You're sort of a lone wolf.
What are you doing?
Taking it off.
You can't do that. They'll arrest you if you go out without your star.
Who's going out?
Oh, of course, you're right. I wonder what our friends will think when we don't show up today.
I didn't have any dates.
Oh, I did. I had a date with Yopi to go play ping pong at her house. Do you know Yopi DeWall?
No.
Yopi's my best friend. I wonder what she thinks when she telephones and there's no answer. Probably she'll go to the house. I wonder what she'll think. We left as if we'd suddenly been called away. Breakfast dishes in the sink, bed not made. Look, it's still there. What are you gonna do with yours?
Burn it.
I don't think I can throw this. I don't know why.
You can't throw? Something they branded you with? That they made you wear so they could spit on you?
I know, but after all, it is a Star of David, isn't it?
Maybe it's different. For a girl.
Oh, forgive me, Peter, but we must find a place for your cat. I'm glad you brought your cat. Anna's feeling so badly about hers. Now, let me see. Here, will you be comfortable in this?
Thanks.
And this will be your room, Peter, but I've warned you, you mustn't grow at all. Not even an inch, or you'll have your feet hanging out of the skylight. Are you hungry?
No.
If you have some bread and butter,
No, thank you.
you can have it for luncheon then. And then we'll have our supper, our first supper together.
Thanks. Thanks.
He's a nice boy, Peter.
Awfully shy, isn't he?
You'll grow to like him, I know.
Certainly hope so, since he's the only boy I'm likely to see for months and months.
Oh no, there's a box there. Will you grab it?
You know how I'm going to think of this place? Like a boarding house. A very peculiar summer boarding house. Like the one that we... Father, my movie stars! Oh, I was wondering where they had gone. And Queen Wilhelmina? Oh, how wonderful.
Is there something more? Go on, look further.
A diary. Oh, I've never had a diary and I've always longed for one. Pencil. Pencil. I'm going out to the office to get a pencil.
Oh no, no.
But there's no one in the building right now.
It doesn't matter. I don't want you to ever go beyond that door.
Never? Not even on Sundays or at nighttime? Can I go down and listen to the radio?
Never. I'm sorry, but no, you must never go beyond that door.
I see.
It'll be hard, I know. But remember this, Hanukkah. So for no walls, no bolts, no locks that anyone can put on your mind. Meep will bring us books. We'll read history, poetry, mythology. Here's your milk. And between you and me, Anna, I believe this place has certain advantages for you. For instance, remember the battle you had the other day with your mother on the subject of your overshoes? You said you'd rather die than wear them. Well, for as long as we're here, you'll never have to wear overshoes. Isn't that good? And the coat you inherited from Margaret, you'll never have to wear that either. And the piano. For as long as we're here, you'll never have to play the piano either. I tell you, this is going to be a fine life for you.
I thought I'd better get water for Mushi before.
Of course.
I expect I should be describing what it feels like to go into hiding, but I don't really know yet myself. I only know it's funny never to be able to go outdoors, never to breathe fresh air, never to run and shout and jump. It's the silence in the night that frightens me most. Every time I hear a creak in the house or a step on the street outside, I'm sure they're coming for us. The days aren't so bad. At least we know that Meep and Mr. Crawler are down there below us in the office. Our protectors, we call them. I asked Father what would happen to them if the Nazis found out they were hiding us. Pim says they would suffer the same fate that we would. Imagine! They know this, and yet they come up here. They're always cheerful and gay as if there was nothing in the world to bother them. Friday, the 21st of August, 1942. Today I'm going to tell you our general news. Mother is unbearable. She insists on treating me like a baby, which I loathe. Otherwise, things are going better. The weather is...
We're safe. So that's what is left.
Wait, Hannah, I'm first for the WC.
Park, go.
Have you seen my shoes?
Your shoes?
You've taken them, haven't you?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You're gonna be sorry.
Am I?
Wait till I get you.
I'm waiting.
Hannah!
No, Peter, no!
Hannah!
Peter, stop! Peter, where are you going? Come dance with me.
I tell you, I don't know how.
I'll teach you.
I'm going in to give Mushi his dinner.
Can I watch?
He doesn't like people around while he eats.
Peter, please.
No.
Anna, I think you shouldn't play like that with Peter. It's not dignified.
Who cares if it's dignified? I don't want to be dignified.
You complain that I don't treat you like a grown-up, but when I do, you resent it.
I only want someone to have some fun with, to laugh and clown with. After you've sat all day and hardly moved, you have to have some fun. I don't know what's the matter with that boy.
He isn't used to girls. Give him some time.
Time? Isn't too much time? I could cry. Margaret, come dance with me, please.
I have to help with supper.
We're going to forget how to dance when we get out of here. We won't remember a thing.
Next. Where's Peter?
Where would he be?
He hasn't finished his lessons, has he? His brother will kill him if he catches him in there, but they can't. His work not done. Anna, get him out of there, will you, please?
Peter! Peter!
What is it?
Your mother would like you to come out.
I'm in giving Mushi his dinner.
You know what your father says.
For heaven's sakes, I haven't seen him since lunch.
I'm just telling you, that's all.
I'll feed him.
I don't want you going in there.
Peter,
Fine, go in and get him his dinner. Come right out, you hear?
now is there any way to talk to your little girlfriend?
Mother, for heaven's sakes, will you please stop saying that?
Oh, look at him, Blush. Look at him.
I'm not. Anyway, leave me alone, will you?
He acts like it's something to be ashamed of to have a little girlfriend. It's nothing to be ashamed of.
You're crazy. She's only 13.
So what? You're 16. Just perfect. Your father's 10 years older than I am. I warn you, Mr. Franck. If this war lasts much longer, you and I are going to be related.
Mazel tov.
I wonder where Meep is. She's usually so prompt.
Forgive me if I don't stay. I have a friend waiting there for me. Tomcat. Some people say we look alike, but Tom has the most beautiful whiskers and I only this fuzz. I am hoping in time.
All right, Mrs. Quack Quack.
Peter!
I heard about you. How you talk so much in class, they called you Mrs. Quack Quack. Oh, how Mr. Smitter made you write a composition. Quack Quack, said Mrs. Quack Quack.
Well, go on then. Tell them the rest. Tell them how it was so good he read it out to his classes and then read it out loud to all of his other classes.
Quack, 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 quack.
You are the most intolerable, insufferable boy I have ever met.
That's right, Annika. Give it to him.
Of all the boys in the world, why'd I have to get locked up with one like you?
Quack, quack, quack. And from now on, stay out of my room.
Anna, dear, your hair. You're warm. Are you feeling all right?
Yes, Mother.
You haven't a fever, have you?
No.
Hanukkah, dear, don't do that. You know we can't call a doctor here ever. There's only one thing we can do. Watch carefully. Prevent an illness before it comes. Let me see your tongue.
Mother, you're being perfectly absurd.
Anna, dear, don't be such a baby. Let me see your tongue. Otto,
You heard your mother, Anna.
come on, open up. You seem all right, but perhaps an aspirin.
For heaven's sakes, don't get that child any pills. I waited for 15 minutes this morning for her to come out of the WC.
I was washing my hair.
I don't think there's anything the matter with our Anna than a ride on her bike or a trip with Yopi to walk in the door. Isn't that right?
Meat not come yet?
The workman just left a little while ago.
What's for dinner tonight?
Beans.
Not again.
Poor Pootie. I know, but what can we do? That's all that we brought us.
We are what is now known as the bean cycle. Beans boiled, beans in casserole, beans with strings, beans without strings.
I saw you in there playing with your cat.
He just went in for a minute to put away his coat. He's been out here all this time doing his lessons.
Anna, you got an excellent in your history paper today and a very good in English.
How about algebra?
I'll have to make a confession. Up until now, I've managed to stay ahead of you in algebra. Today you caught up with me. We'll leave it to Mark to correct.
Isn't algebra vile, Tim?
Vile.
How did I do?
Excellent, 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 excellent.
You should have used the subjunctive here.
Should I? I thought... Look here, I didn't use it here.
Miss Van Dam, may I try on your coat?
No, Anna. Be careful with it. My father gave me it the year before he died. He always bought the best that money could buy.
Miss Van Dam, did you have a lot of boyfriends before you were married?
Anna, that's a personal question. It's not courteous to ask personal questions.
Oh, I don't mind. Ours was always swarming with boys. When I was a girl, we had...
Oh God, not again.
Shut up. One summer, we had a big house in Hilversum, and the boys came buzzing around like bees around a jam pot. And when I was 16, we were wearing our skirts very short those days, and I had good-looking legs. I still have them. I may not be as pretty as I used to be, but I still have my legs. How about it, Mr. Franck?
All right, we see that.
I'm not asking you. I'm asking Mr. Franck.
Mother, for heaven's sake.
Oh, I embarrass you, do I? Well, I hope the girl you marry has just as good. My father warned me that my father used to worry about me with so many boys hanging around. He warned me if any of them gets fresh, you say to him, "Remember, Mr. So-and-so, remember, I'm a lady."
Remember, Mr. So-and-so, remember, I'm a lady.
Look at you talking that way in front of her. Don't you know she writes that all down in her diary?
So what if she does? I'm only telling you the truth. Would you mind, Peter, if I moved you over to the couch?
Meep must be listening to the radio.
Haven't you finished yet?
No.
You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
All right. I'm a dunce, a hopeless case. Why do I go on?
You're not hopeless. Don't talk that way. You just haven't had anyone to help you like the girls have. Maybe you can help him, Mr. Franck?
I'm sure that his father.
Not me. I can't do anything with him. He won't listen to me. You go ahead. if you want.
What about it, Peter? Would you like to make our school co-educational?
You're an angel, Mr. Frank, an angel. I don't know why I didn't meet you before I met that one there. Here, sit down, Mr. Frank. Now, Peter, you listen to Mr. Frank.
I think we should take this into Peter's room.
That's right, you go in there, Peter. You listen to Mr. Frank. Mr. Frank is a highly educated man.
I can hear a man's voice talking.
Aren't things crowded enough here without you sprawling all over the place?
You wouldn't be so bad-tempered if you didn't smoke all the time.
Am I smoking? Do you see me smoking?
Don't tell me you've used up all those cigarettes.
One pack. Meat brought me, one pack.
It's a filthy habit anyway. It's a good time to break
Oh,
yourself.
stop it,
You're
please.
smoking up all our money. You know that, don't you?
Will you shut up? And what are you staring at?
Oh, I've just never seen grown-ups quarrel before. I thought only children quarreled.
This isn't a quarrel, this is a discussion. And I've never met children so rude before.
Rude.
Anna, would you bring me my knitting? I must remember when meat comes to ask for some more wool.
I need some hairpins and some soap. I made a list.
Have you some library books for when meat comes?
It's a wonder Meep has any life of her own the way we can run errands for us. Meep, get me some starch. Meep, have my hair cut for me. Meep, tell me the latest news. Did you know Meep's engaged? His name is Dirk, and Meep's afraid that the Nazis are going to take him and ship him off to one of their warplanes in Germany. That's what they're doing with the young Dutchman. They just take him off the streets.
Don't you ever get tired of talking? Suppose you try and keep it quiet for 5 minutes. Just 5 minutes.
Come here, Anna. Finish your glass of milk.
Talk, talk, talk. I've never heard such a child. Where is my? Every night, it's the same. Talk, talk, talk. Where is my?
What are you looking for?
My pipe. Have you seen my pipe?
What good's a pipe? You haven't got any tobacco.
Well, at least I'll have something to hold in my mouth. Margaret, have you seen my pipe?
It was on the table last night.
I know, I know. Anna, have you seen my pipe? Anna?
Anna, dear, Mr. Fondant is speaking to you.
Am I allowed to speak now?
You're the most aggravating. You know what your problem is? You've been spoiled. What you need is a good old-fashioned spanking.
Remember, Mr. So-and-so, remember, I'm a lady.
Why can't you be nice and quiet like your sister Margaret? Why do you gotta show off all the time? Let me give you a little advice, young lady. Men don't like that kind of thing in a woman, you know that? Man likes a woman who'll be quiet once in a while. A domestic girl who'll keep her house shining for her husband, who loves to cook and sew.
I'd slit my throat first. I'd open my veins. I'm going to Paris. I'm going to be remarkable.
Paris?
To study music and art.
Yeah.
I'm going to be a famous dancer or singer or something wonderful.
You clumsy little fool, look what you've done! My beautiful fur coat my father gave me!
I'm so sorry.
It isn't yours, so go on, ruin it. Do you know what this coat costs? Do you? And now look at it. Look at it!
I'm very, very sorry.
I could just kill you for this. I could just kill you!
Wait, Petronella, leave here. Come back. The supper. Come back.
Anna, you mustn't behave in that way.
It was an accident. Anyone can have an accident.
I don't mean that. I mean the answering back. You must not answer back. They are our guests. We must always show the greatest courtesy to them. We're all living under terrible tension. That's why we must control ourselves. You don't see Margaret get into arguments with them, do you? Watch Margaret. She's always courteous with them, never familiar. She keeps her distance, and they respect her for it. Try to be like Margaret.
And have them walk all over me the way they do her, no thanks.
I'm not afraid that anyone's going to walk all over you, Anna. I'm afraid of other people, that you'll walk on them. I don't know what happens with you, Anna. You're wild, self-willed. If I'd ever talked to my mother as you talk to me...
People aren't like that anymore. Yes, mother, no, mother. Anything you say, mother, I have to fight things out for myself. Make something of myself.
It isn't necessary to fight to do it. Margaret doesn't fight it.
Margaret! That is all I hear. How wonderful Margaret is. Why can't I be like Margaret?
Come on, Anna, don't be so...
Everything she does is right. Everything I do is wrong. I'm the goat around here. You're all against me, and you, worst of all.
Let's put some soup on the stove, if there's anyone who cares to eat. Margaret, will you take the bread out? I don't know how we can go on living this way. I can't say a word to Anna. She flies at me.
You know, Anna, in half an hour she'll be out here laughing and joking around.
And I told your father it wouldn't work, but no. He had to ask them, he said. He owed it to them, he said.
Well, he knows now that I was right. These quarrels, this bickering. Shh. Every time I hear that sound, my heart stops.
It's me. Father!
Thank you, Margaret. Is everyone his list?
I'll get my books. Here's your list. Meat's here.
Is it me?
Yes, Father's got down to lettering.
At last, I'll have some cigarettes.
I can't tell you how unhappy I am about Mrs. Fondant's coat. Anna should have never touched it.
She'll be all right.
Is there anything that I can do?
Don't worry.
Mr. Crawler!
Hello, Mr. Crawler.
This is a surprise.
When Mr. Crawler comes, the sun begins to shine.
Meep is coming?
Not tonight.
Would you like some coffee? Or better yet, will you have supper with us?
No, thank you.
Mr. Crawler has something to discuss with us. Something he says requires an immediate decision.
What is it?
Usually, when I come here, I try to bring you some bit of good news. What's the use in telling you the bad news when there's nothing you can do about it? But today something happened. Dirk, Meeps Dirk, he came to me just now. He said he has a Jewish friend living near him. He said he's in trouble. He begged me, could I do anything to help this man? Could I find him some hiding place? So I've come to you. I know it's a terrible thing to ask, living as you are, but would you take him in with you?
Of course we will.
It will only be for a night or two, until I find him some other place. This was all so sudden, I had nowhere else to turn.
Where is he?
Downstairs in the office.
Good. Bring him up.
His name is Dussel. Jan Dussel.
Dussel. Think I know.
I'll go get him.
Forgive me, I spoke without consulting you, but I knew you'd feel as I do.
There's no reason for you to consult anyone. This is your place. You can do as you wish. I only feel there's so little food already, and to take in another person...
We can stretch the food a little. It's only for a few days.
Want to make a bet?
I think it's fine to have him, but Otto, where are you going to put him? Where?
He can have my bed. I could sleep on the floor, I wouldn't mind.
That's good of you, Peter, but the room's too small even for you.
Then how about this? I come in here with your mother. Margaret can take Peter's room, and Peter can go in our room with Mr. Dussel.
That's right. We could do that.
No, Margaret, you mustn't sleep in that room. Neither you nor Anna. Mushi's been catching rats in there. Peter's brave. He doesn't mind.
Then how about this? I come in here with you and mother, and Mr. Dussel can take my bed.
No, Margaret will come in here with us, and he can have her bed. It's the only way. Margaret, bring your things in here. Help her, Anna.
Why, Margaret? Why can't I come in here?
Because it wouldn't be proper for Margaret to sleep with a... Please, Anna, don't argue. Please.
You don't mind sharing the room with Mr. Dussel, do you?
No, not at all.
Good. Where's the coat?
It's there, but Otto, I was saving it in case of illness.
I can't think of a better time to use it. Pedro, you get 5 glasses for me?
What's happening? What's going on?
Someone's moving in with
In
us.
here? You're joking.
It's only for a night or two, until Mr. Crawler finds him another place.
Yeah.
Come in, Mr. Dussel.
This is Mr. Frank.
Mr. Otto Frank?
Yes. Can you take your things? My wife, Edith, Mr. and Mrs. Van Dam, their son Peter, my daughters Margaret and Anna.
Thank you, Mr. Frank. Thank you all. Mr. Dussel, I leave you in good hands. Oh, Dirk's coat.
What can I say to thank you?
Mr. Crawler and me, they're our lifeline. Without them, we couldn't live.
Please, you make us seem very heroic. It isn't that at all. We simply don't like the Nazis. We don't like their methods. We don't like anything about them.
I know. No one's going to tell us Dutchmen what to do with our damn Jews.
Pay no mind to Mr. Frank. I'll be up tomorrow to make sure they're treating you right. Don't bother coming after me. Peter will bolt the door after me, won't you, Peter?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Peter, but I'll do it.
Good night. Good night.
Good night,
Good night,
Mr.
Mr.
Crawler.
Crawler. Please, Mr. Dussel, sit down.
I'm dreaming. I know it. I cannot believe my eyes. Mr. Otto Frank, here? You're not in Switzerland then? A woman told me. She said she'd gone to your home. The door was open. Everything was in disorder. Dishes in the sink. She said she found a piece of paper in the wastebasket with an address scribbled on it. An address in Zurich. She said you must have escaped to Zurich.
Father left it there purposely, just so people would think that very thing.
And you've been here all this time?
All this time, ever since July.
Oh, Pim, it worked. The address you left? Mr. Dussel says that people believed we escaped to Switzerland.
I'm glad, Otto. Now, let's have a little drink to welcome Mr. Dussel. To Mr. Dussel, welcome. We're very honored to have you with us.
To Mr. Dussel, welcome. That was good.
Did Mr. Crawler warn you you won't get much to eat here? You can imagine, 3 ration books among the 7 of us, and now you make 8.
Mr. Fondon, you don't realize what's going on outside, that you should warn me of a thing like that. You don't realize what's happening. Right here in Amsterdam, every day hundreds of Jews go missing. They surround a block and search house by house. Children come home from school to find their parents gone. Hundreds are being deported. People that you and I know. The Hallensteins, the Vessels.
Oh no, no.
They get their call-up notice, come to the Jewish theater on such and such day and hour, bring only what you can carry in a rucksack. And if you refuse the call-up notice, then they come and drag you from your home and ship you off to Mauthausen, the death camp.
We didn't know that things had got so much worse.
Forgive me for speaking so.
Do you know the DeWalls? Their daughter Yopi and I were in the same class. Yopi's my best friend.
They are gone,
Gone?
with all the others.
No, I don't!
There were some people called Wagner. They lived near us.
I think we should put this off until later. We all have many questions we'd like to ask, but I'm sure that Mr. Dussel would like to get settled in before supper.
Yes, I would. I brought very little with me.
I regret that we can't give you a room to yourself, but I hope you won't be too uncomfortable. We've had to make a strict set of rules, a schedule of hours. We'll tell you all about it after supper. Anna, will you take Mr. Dussel to his room, please?
Mr. Dussel, if you'll follow me.
Forgive me if I haven't expressed my gratitude to all of you. This has been such a shock to me. I'd always thought of myself as Dutch. I was born in Holland, my father was born in Holland, and my grandfather. And now, after all these years, if you'll excuse me.
Here we are.
The news sounds pretty bad, doesn't it? It's so different from what Mr. Crawler tells us. Mr. Crawler says things are improving.
I like it better the way Mr. Crawler tells it.
You're going to be sharing this room with me.
I'm a man who's always lived alone. I haven't had to adjust myself to others. I hope you'll bear with me until I learn.
Let me help you with your things. Have you always lived all alone? Have you no family?
No one.
How terrible. You must be dreadfully lonely.
I'm used to it.
I don't think I could ever get used to it. Haven't you even had a pet, a cat, or a dog?
I have an allergy to fur-bearing animals. They give me asthma.
Oh, Peter has a cat.
Here? He has it here?
Yes, but we hardly ever see it. He keeps it in his room all the time. I'm sure it'll be all right.
Well, let's hope so.
That's Margaret's bed where you're going to sleep, and I sleep on the sofa over here. We cleared that off for your things. The best part about this room, you can look down and see a bit of the street and the end of the canal. There's a houseboat. A bargeman lives there with his family, and they have a baby who's beginning to walk. And I'm so afraid that he's going to fall into the canal, so I watch him sometimes.
Your father spoke of a schedule?
Oh, yes. It's mostly about times that we have to be quiet and times for the WC. You can use it now if you'd like.
No, thank you.
I suppose you think it's awful, my talking about a thing like that, but you don't know how important that can be, especially when you're frightened. The way Margaret and I did the room. She had the room to herself in the mornings for reading lessons, and I had it in the afternoons. Would that be all right with you?
I'm not at my best in the mornings.
Then you can take the afternoons and I'll have the mornings.
Tell me, when you're in here, what happens to me? Where am I spending my time? In there, with all the others?
Yes.
I see, I see.
We have dinner at 6:30.
And if you don't mind, I like to lie down quietly for 10 minutes before eating. I find it helps with digestion.
Of course. I hope I won't be too much of a bother to you. I seem to be able to get everyone's back up.
I get along very well with children. My patients all bring their children to see me because they know I get on well with them. So don't you worry about a thing like that.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Russell. And yesterday, I finished Sissy Van Marksvelt's latest book. I think she's a first-class writer. I shall definitely let my children read her. Monday, the 21st of September, 1942. Mr. Dussel and I had yet another battle yesterday. Yes, Mr. Dussel. According to him, nothing, I repeat, nothing is right about me. My appearance, my character, my manners. While he was going on at me, I thought, sometime I'll give you such a smack that you'll fly right up to the ceiling. Why is it that every grown-up thinks he knows the way to bring up children, particularly the grown-ups that never had any? I keep wishing Peter was a girl instead of a boy. Then I'd have someone to talk to. Margaret's a darling, but she takes everything too seriously. To pause for a moment on the subject of Mrs. Van Daan, I must tell you that her attempts to flirt with Father are getting her nowhere. Pim, thank goodness, won't play.
No! Don't take me, no!
Shush on! For God's sake, shush!
Save me!
Quiet! You want someone to hear?
Hush, darling, hush. It's all right. There, my poor baby, my child. Please, Mr. Dussel, will you turn on the light? It was nothing, my darling. It was just a dream.
Something must be done about this, Shaw, Mrs. Franck. Yelling like that? Who knows but there's somebody on the street? She's endangering all of our lives.
Poor Anna. Little Anna.
Every night she twists and turns. I don't sleep. I spend half my night shushing her. And now it's nightmares?
You're here, safe, you see? Nothing has happened. Please, Mr. Dussel, go back to bed. She'll be herself in an hour or two. Won't you, Anna?
Thank you, but I'm going to the WC. The one place where there's peace.
What is it? What happened?
A nightmare. She was having a nightmare.
I thought someone was murdering her.
Unfortunately, no.
Thank you, Penny. Go back to bed.
Would you like some water? Was it a very bad dream? Perhaps if you told me.
I'd rather not talk about it.
Poor darling. Try to sleep then. I'll sit right here beside you until you fall asleep.
You really don't have to.
But I'd like to stay. Very much, really.
I'd rather you didn't.
Good night then. You're sure you'll be all right? There's nothing that you want?
Yes. Please tell Father to come.
Of course, Anna dear. She wants you.
Edith, here.
It's all right. I thank God at least she goes to you when she needs comfort. Go to her, Otto. She's still shaking with fear. Go to her. She wants nothing of me. She pulled away when I leaned in to kiss her.
It's a phase. You heard, Father. Most girls go through it. They turn to their fathers at this age. They give all of their love to their fathers.
You weren't like this. You didn't shut me out.
She'll get over it.
Oh, Father, I dreamed that they came to get us, the green police. I dreamed that they banged down the door and dragged me out the way that they did Yopi.
Here, I want you to take this pill.
What is it?
Something to quiet you. So I could read to you for a while?
No, just sit with me for a minute. Was I awful? Did I yell terribly loud? Do you think anyone outside could have heard?
No. Lie quietly now. Try to sleep.
I am so disappointed in myself. I think I'm really grown up. I think I've faced my fear, and then something happens, and I run to you like a baby. I love you, Father. You're the only one I love.
Oliver.
It's true. I've been thinking about it for a long time. You're the only one I love.
It's fine to hear you tell me that you love me. But I'd much rather hear you say you love your mother as well. She needs your help so much. Your love.
She doesn't understand me. Whenever I try to explain my views on life, she asks me if I'm constipated.
You hurt her very much just now. She's crying. She's crying in there.
I can't help it. I only told the truth. I didn't want her here. I was awful, wasn't I? And the worst of it is, I can stand off and look at myself doing it. I know it's cruel, and yet I can't stop doing it. What is the matter with me? Tell me. Don't just say it's a phase. Help me.
There is so little we parents can do to help our children. They can only try to set a good example. Points the way. But the rest you must do yourself, Anna. You must build your own character.
I'm trying. Really, I am. Every night before I go back to sleep, I think back over all the things I did that day that were wrong. Like putting the wet mop in Mr. Dussel's bed, and this thing now with Mother. I say to myself, that was wrong. I'm never going to do it again, never. I may do something worse, but at least I'll never do that again. I have a nicer side, Father. A sweeter, nicer side. But I'm afraid to show it. I'm afraid that people are going to laugh at me if I'm serious, so the mean Ann comes to the outside and the good Ann stays on the inside. And I keep trying to switch them and be what I might be. Only.
The air raids are getting worse. They come over day and night. The noise is terrifying. Pim says it should be music to our ears. The more planes, the sooner will come the end of the war. Mrs. Van Daan pretends to be a fatalist. What will be, will be. But when the planes come over, who is the most frightened? No one else but Petronella. Monday, the 9th of November, 1942. Wonderful news! The Allies have landed in Africa. Pim says that we can look for an early finish to the war. Just for fun, he asks each of us what's the first thing we wanted to do when we get out of here. Mrs. Van Daan longs to be home with her own things, her needlepoint chairs, her Bekenstein piano her father gave her, the best money could buy. Peter would like to go see a movie. Mr. Dussel wants to get back to his dentist drill. He's afraid he's losing his touch. For myself, there are so many things. To ride a bike again, to laugh till my belly aches, to have new clothes from the skin out, to have a hot tub filled to overflowing and wallow in it for hours, to be back in school with my friends.
Praise be thou, O Lord, our God, ruler of the universe, who has sanctified us with thy commandments and bidden us kindle the harmful lights. Praise be thou, O Lord, our God, ruler of the universe, who has wrought wondrous deliverances for our fathers in days of old. Praise be thou, O Lord, our God, ruler of the universe, that thou hast given us life and sustenance and brought us to this happy season. Amen. We kindle this Hanukkah light to celebrate the great and wonderful deeds wrought with the zeal with which God filled the hearts of the heroic Maccabees 2,000 years ago. They fought against indifference, against tyranny and oppression, and they restored our temple to us. May these lights remind us that when we should ever look to God, let's come with our help. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. I lift up mine eyes into the mountains, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord who made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. He that keepeth Israel doth neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper. The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall keep thee from all evil. He shall keep thy soul. The Lord shall guard thy going out and thy coming in, from this time forth and forevermore. Amen.
Amen. That was very moving.
It isn't over yet.
Sit down, sit down.
There's lots more songs and presents.
Presents?
Not this year, unfortunately.
But every year on Hanukkah, everyone gives presents. Everyone.
Like our St. Nicholas's Day.
No, not like St. Nicholas. What kind of a Jew are you that you don't even know Hanukkah? I remember particularly the candles. First one as we have tonight, and then on the second night you light 2, and the next night 3, and so on until there are 8 candles burning. When there are 8 candles, it is truly beautiful.
And the potato pancakes.
Don't talk about that.
I make the best latkes you ever tasted.
Invite us all next year, in your own home.
God willing.
God willing.
What I remember best are the presents that we used to get when we were little. 8 days of presents, and each day it got better and better.
We are all here alive. That is present enough.
No, it isn't. I have something.
What is it?
Presents!
Presents?
L'chaim.
L'chaim. Look,
What's she got in her head?
A lampshade.
Oh, dear, they're every which way. Oh, Margaret. Read it out loud.
You never lost your temper, you never will, I fear. You are so good, but if you should, put all your crosswords here. A new crossword puzzle book, wherever did you get it?
It isn't new. It's one you've done before. But I rubbed it all out, and if you wait a little bit and forget, you can do it all over again.
Oh, it's wonderful, Anna. You'd never know it wasn't new.
Oh, Mrs. Van Dan.
Oh, this is awful. I don't have anything for anyone. I never
This
thought...
is all Anna's idea.
What is it?
It's hair shampoo. I took the odds and ends of soap and mixed it with the last of my toilet water.
Oh, Hanukkah.
I wanted to write a poem for all of them, but I didn't have the time. Oh. Mr. Van Dan, this is something you want more than anything. Cigarettes!
Cigarettes?
2 of them. Pim found some tobacco in the pocket lining of his coat, and we made them, or rather Pim did.
Well, let me see. Well, look at that. Light it, Bootsy, light it.
It's tobacco, really it is. There's fluff in it, but only a little bit.
It works.
Oh, look at him.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you.
For Mother, Hanukkah greetings.
Here's an IOU that I promise to pay. 10 hours of doing whatever you say. Signed, Anna Frank.
10 hours doing what you're told? Anything you're told?
That's right.
You wouldn't want to saw that, Mrs. Frank.
Never. This is the most precious gift I've ever had.
For Pim.
Anna, I wasn't supposed to have a present.
It's a muffler. To put around your neck like an ascot. I knitted it out of odds and ends each night after I'd gone to bed. I'm afraid it looks better in the dark.
It's fine. Fits me perfectly. Thank you, Anna.
For Mushi.
On behalf of Mushi, I thank you.
And this is for you, from Mrs. Quack Quack. Aren't you going to open it?
I'm scared to. I know someone's gonna jump out and hit me.
No, it's nothing like that, I promise.
Well, go on, Peter. Show us.
It's a safety razor.
A what?
It's a razor.
You didn't make that out of odds and ends.
It isn't new. Meep got it for me, but you really do need a razor now.
For what?
Well, look at his upper lip. You can see the beginning of a mustache.
He wants to get rid of that? Put a little milk on it? Let the cat lick it off.
Think you're funny, don't you?
Look, he can't wait. He's going in to try it.
I'm going in to give Mushi his present.
Aw, Mushy, Mushy, Mushy.
And last but never least, my roommate, Mr. Dessel.
For me? You have something for me?
I made them myself.
Capsules? 2 capsules?
They're earplugs,
Earplugs?
so you won't hear me when I thrash around at night. I saw them advertised in a magazine. They aren't real ones. I made them out of cotton and candle wax. Go on, see if you can't hear me.
Wait till I get them in now. So?
Can you hear me?
Huh?
Can you hear me?
Good God, they've gone inside. I can't get them out. Thank you, Ann. Thank you.
A real Hanukkah.
Wasn't it cute of her? She did it. I love my present.
And now let's have the song, Father. Have you ever heard the Hanukkah song, Mr. Dessel? It's the whole thing. Oh Hanukkah, the sweet celebration.
I don't think we should be singing that song tonight, Anna. It's a song of celebration, of jubilation. Fun is apt to become too enthusiastic.
Oh, please, Father, please. I promise not to shout.
Very well. I'll keep an eye on you. And then...
How many times have I told you? Ow! Ow!
What's the matter with you? Haven't you any sense? Get that cat out of here.
Cat?
You heard me. Get it out of here.
I have no cat.
It doesn't need to be the cat. His clothes are enough. When he comes out of that room.
Don't worry. You won't be bothered by it anymore. We're getting rid of it.
At last, you listen to me.
I'm not doing it for you. That's all in your head. All of it. I'm doing it because I'm sick of that cat eating all our food.
That's not true. I only feed him bones, scraps.
Don't give me that. He gets fatter every day. Damn cat looks better than any of us. Out he goes tonight.
No. No!
Mr. Fandan, you can't do that. That's Peter's cat. Peter loves that cat.
Anna,
If he goes, I go.
Well, go! Go!
you're not going, and the cat's not going. Now, please, this is Hanukkah. Hanukkah, this is just time to celebrate. What's the matter with all of you? Come on, Otto, let's have the song.
Oh Hanukkah, the sweet celebration. Round the feast.
I think we should blow out the candles first. Then we'll have something for tomorrow night.
But, Father, you're supposed to let them burn themselves out.
I'm sure that God understands shortages. Praise be thou, O Lord, our God, ruler of the universe, who has sustained us and permitted us to celebrate this joyous season. Amen.
God almighty! Do you hear anything?
No. No. I think they've gone.
It's the Green Police. They found us.
If they had, they wouldn't have left. They'd be up here by now.
I know it's the Green Police. They've gone to get help. They'll be back.
Or maybe the Gestapo looking for paper.
Or thief looking for money.
Do something quick, quick before they come back.
There isn't anything to do, just wait.
Get some water. Please get some water.
No one's going to want the water.
If they found us, they found us. Run the water. I'm going down.
No, Father, there may be someone waiting there. It could be a trap.
This is Saturday. So there's no way for us to know what has happened until Meek or Mr. Crowder comes back on Monday morning. We cannot live with the uncertainty.
Don't go, Father. Hush, darling, hush. Margaret, stay close to me.
Shush, shush.
Pootie, go upstairs, quick, quick. Get our money. I hear you can buy the Green Police off so much ahead. Do something, quick.
Keep still.
Do you want to be dragged out to a concentration camp? Are you going to stand there and wait for them to come pick you up? Do something, I tell you.
Keep still.
Please, somebody go get my father.
I'll go.
Haven't you done enough?
Please, Mr. Fandan, please go get my father.
Quiet, quiet.
I lift up my eyes from the mountains, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord who made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber.
There's a thief.
Thank God.
He took a cash box and some radio. He left in such a hurry he didn't even stop to shut the screen door. He left it swinging wide open. Now, I think we best have some light.
Are you sure it's all right?
So danger is past. Don't be so terrified, Al. We're safe.
Who says the danger is past? Don't you realize we're in greater danger than ever?
Mr. Dussel, will you be still?
Thanks to this clumsy fool, there's someone that now knows we're up here. Someone now knows we're up here hiding.
Someone knows we're here, yes. But who is this someone? A thief. A thief! You think a thief is gonna go to the green police and say, I was robbing a place the other day and I heard a noise above my head. You think a thief is gonna do that?
Yes, I think he will.
You're crazy.
I think someday he'll be caught, and he'll make a bargain with the green police. And if they'll let him off, he'll tell them where some Jews are hiding.
He's right.
Father, we can't stay here anymore. We have to go.
Go where?
Yes, where?
Have we lost our faith? Our courage? Just a moment ago, we thought it was the end. But it wasn't. We're alive, and we're safe. Praise be thou, O Lord our God, that in thy infinite mercy thou hast again seen fit to spare us. Go on. The song.
Oh Hanukkah, the sweet celebration. Around the feast we gather in complete jubilation. Happiest of seasons, now is here.
Many are the reasons for good cheer. Together we'll weather whatever tomorrow may bring. So hear us rejoicing and merrily voicing the Hanukkah songs that we sing. Hoy! So hear us rejoicing and merrily voicing the Hanukkah song that we sing.
Saturday, the 1st of January, 1944. Another new year has begun and we find ourselves still in our hiding place. We have been here now for 1 year, 5 months, and 25 days. It seems that our life is at a standstill. We are all a little thinner. The Van Dance discussions are as violent as ever. Mother still does not understand me, but then I don't understand her either. There is one great change, however. A change in myself. I read somewhere that girls of my age don't feel quite certain of themselves, that they become quiet within and begin to think of the miracle that is taking place in their bodies. I think that what is happening to me is so wonderful, not only what can be seen, but what is taking place inside. Each time it has happened, I have a feeling that I have a sweet secret. And in spite of my pain, I long for a time when I shall feel that secret within me again.
It's me.
Wake up, everyone. Meep's here. Meep and Mr. Crawler. What a delightful surprise.
We came to bring you New Year's greetings.
You shouldn't. You should have at least one day to yourself.
Don't say that to them. It's so wonderful to see them. Oh, I can smell the wind and the cold on your clothes. Here you are.
How are you, Martin?
Feeling any better?
I'm all right.
We filled her full of every type of pill so she won't cough and make noise.
But how long, Meep? Mr. Crawler?
With my hope for peace in the new year.
Meep, have you seen Mushi? Have you seen him anywhere around?
I'm sorry, Peter. I asked everyone in the neighborhood had they seen your gray cat. But they said no.
Look what Meep has brought for us.
A cake?
A cake? I'll get some plates.
Thank you, Meepia. You shouldn't have. He must have used all your sugar ration for weeks. It's beautiful, isn't it?
It's been ages since I even saw a cake. Not since the one you brought us last year. Remember? Do you remember just this time last year? I'll never forget because you have peace in 1943 written on it. Peace in 1944. Well, it has to come sometime, you know. Hello, Mr. Dussel.
How are you?
Just a nice leaf, yeah? Now, how many of us are there?
And for me, thank you.
No, thanks.
Oh, please, you must.
Couldn't.
Good. That leaves 7 of us.
8. It's the same number as it always is.
I left Margaret out. I take for granted Margaret wouldn't have any.
Why wouldn't she?
I think it won't harm her.
All right. I just didn't want her to start coughing again, that's all.
And please, Mrs. Frank should cut the cake.
What's
Is
the
that
difference?
Mrs. Crunk's tape, is it is for all of us?
Mrs. Frank divides things better.
Come
What
on,
are you
stop
trying to
wasting
say?
time.
Don't I give everybody exactly the same? Don't I?
Forget it, Caroline.
No, I want an answer, don't I?
Yes. Everybody gets exactly the same. Except Mr. Fondine is a little bit more.
That's a lie. She cuts the same.
Please! See what a little bit of sugar cake does to us? It goes right to our heads.
Here you go, Mrs. Frank.
Thank you. Are you sure you won't have some? No, really, I have to go in a minute.
Maybe Mushu went back to our house. They say that cats... Do you ever get over there? I mean, do you suppose you could?
I'll try, Peter. The first minute I get, I'll try, but I'm afraid with him gone a week.
Make up your mind. Someone has had a nice, big dinner from that cat.
This is delicious, Maeve, delicious.
Dirk's in luck to have a girl who can bake like this.
I have to run. Dirk's taking me to a party tonight.
Oh, how heavenly. Now, you must remember what everyone is wearing and what you have to eat so you can tell us tomorrow.
I'll give you the full report. Goodbye, everyone.
Oh, just a minute. There's something I'd like you to do for me.
What is it, Pootie? What are you going to get? What do you want? What's wrong?
Father said she's gonna sell her fur coat. She's crazy about that old fur coat.
Is it possible? Is it possible that anyone is so silly, has to worry about a fur coat in times like this?
It's none of your darn business. And if you say one more thing, I'll take you. And I mean it. I'll...
No! No! Don't you dare take that! You hear? It's mine! My father gave me it! You didn't give me it! Let go of it! You hear?
Just a little discussion over the advisability of selling this coat. So I've often reminded Mrs. Fondant it is very selfish to keep it when there's so many others on the outside in need of clothing. So if you could sell it for us, it should fetch a good price. Also, can you give me some cigarettes? I don't care what kind, all you can get.
It's terribly difficult to get from Mr. Fondant, but I'll try. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, me.
Are you sure you want to have some cake, Mr. Crawler?
I better not.
You still feeling badly? What does the doctor say?
I haven't been to one.
Now, Mr. Crawler.
Oh, I've tried, but you can't get near a doctor these days. They're so busy. Finally, after a couple of weeks, I got one on the telephone. I told him I'd like to make an appointment. I wasn't feeling well. And you know what he says to me? Over the telephone, stick out your tongue. Oh, I have some contracts here. I was wondering if you'd look them over with me.
Of course.
Could we do this downstairs? I hope you won't mind. I'll only keep them a minute.
What's happened? Something's happened, hasn't it, Mr. Crawler?
No, really, I just need
Something's gone wrong, I know it.
If it's something that concerns all of us, it's best that we all hear it.
But the children...
Whatever they would imagine would be worse than any reality.
There was a man in the storeroom. I don't know whether you remember him or not. He came on with us just before you left. Carl, heavy-set, nearsighted.
He was from Utrecht.
Yes, that's the man. A couple of weeks ago, I was in the storeroom when he closed the door and asked me, "How's Mr. Frank? What do you hear from Mr. Frank?" I said I only heard a rumor that you were in Switzerland. He said he heard that rumor too. I didn't think anything of it, but yesterday something happened. He came into my office with some invoices for me to sign. And as I was going through them, I looked up and he was standing, staring at the bookcase. The bookcase that hides your door. He said, "Wasn't there a door there? I remember a door being there that went up to the loft." Then he asked for more money. 20 guilders more a week.
Blackmail!
20 guilders, a very modest black man.
That's just the beginning.
You know what I think? I think he was the thief who was up here that night. That's how he knows we're up here.
What else did you say? What did you tell him?
I said I had to think about it. What should I do? Pay him? Take a chance on firing him? Or what? I don't know.
For God's sake, don't fire him. Pay him what he asks. Have him here where you can keep your eye on him.
Is it so much that he's asking? What are they paying nowadays?
He could get it in a war plant, but this isn't a war plant. Now, mind you, I don't know whether he really knows. Or if he doesn't know.
Offer him half. So then we can decide if it's blackmail or not.
And if it is, we've got to pay it, haven't we? Anything he asks, we've got to pay.
We can decide that when the time comes.
This may all be my imagination. You get to a point nowadays when you can suspect everyone and everything on some simple look or word. I've found myself,
That's the telephone. What does that mean? The telephone ringing on a holiday?
That's my wife. I told her I had some papers to go over in the office, to call me when she got out of church. I'll offer him half. Goodbye, then. We'll hope.
Goodbye, Mr. Carl.
You can thank your son for this. Knocking over the chair? I tell you, it's the question of time now.
Sometimes I wish the end would come, whatever it is. Mark it. At least then we'd know where we were.
You should be ashamed of yourself, talking that way. Think of how lucky we are. Think of all the thousands dying in the war every day. Think of the people in the concentration camps.
What is the good of that? What is the good of thinking of misery when you're already miserable? That's stupid.
Anna.
We're still young, Market Pater and I. But you grown-ups have had your chance. If we begin to think of all the horrors in the world, we're lost. We're trying to hold on to some kind of ideals when hopes, ideals, everything is being destroyed.
Now, Anna.
It isn't our fault the world is in such a mess. We weren't around when it all started.
Anna.
So don't try and take it out on us.
She talks as if we started the war. Did we start the war?
She left her cake. Left us.
Thanks.
I thought you were fine just now. You know just how to talk to them. You know just how to say it. I'm no good. I can never think, especially when I'm mad. That Dussel, saying that about Mushi, someone eating him. I wanted to hit him. I wanted to give him such a, that he'd, that's what I used to do when there was an argument at school. That's the way but here, an old man like that, wouldn't be so good.
You're making a big mistake about me. I do it all wrong. I say too much, and I go too far, and I hurt people's feelings.
I think you're fine. What I want to say is, if it wasn't for you around here, I don't know.
Do you mean it, Pater?
I said it, didn't I?
Thanks.
You've got quite a collection.
Wouldn't you like some for your room? Heaven knows you spend enough time in there doing heaven knows what.
It's easier. A fight or an argument starts, I duck out in there.
You're lucky having a room to go to. His lordship is always in here. I hardly ever get a minute to myself. When they start in on me, I just have to stand there and take it.
You gave some of it back just now.
Well, I get so mad. They've made up their minds about everything. But we're still trying to find out. We have problems here no other people our age have ever had. And just as we think we're about to figure it out, something comes along and bang, we have to start all over again.
At least you got someone you can talk to.
Not really. Mother, I never talked to anything about her. Father's okay. We can talk about anything. Anything except one thing. Mother. He simply won't talk about her. I don't think you can be really intimate with anybody if they hold something back.
I think your father's fine.
Oh, he is, Pater, he is. He's the only one who's ever given me the feeling I have any sense, but nothing can really take the place of school and friends your age or near your age.
I suppose you miss your friends and all.
It isn't just... It's funny, you and I.
Here we've seen each other every minute for the last year and a half, and this is the first time we've ever really talked. It helps, you know, to let off some steam.
Well, anytime you want to let off some steam, you can always come into my room.
I can get up an awful lot of steam. You're gonna have to be careful how you say that.
It's all right with me.
Do you mean it?
I said it, didn't I?
We've had bad news. The people from whom we got our ration books have been arrested. So we have to cut down on our food. Our stomachs are so empty that they rumble and make strange noises, all in different keys. Mr. Van Dan's is deep and low, like a bass fiddle. Mine is high, whistling like a flute. As we all sit around waiting for supper, it's like an orchestra tuning up. It only needs Toscanini to raise his baton and we'd be off to the Ride of the Valkyries. Monday, the 6th of March, 1944. Mr. Crawler is in the hospital. It seems he has ulcers. Tim says we are his ulcers. Meat has to run the business and us too. The Americans have landed on the southern tip of Italy. Father looks for a quick finish to the war. Mr. Dussel is waiting every day for the warehouse man to demand more money. Have I been skipping too much from one subject to another? I can't help it. I feel that spring is coming. I feel it in my whole body and soul. I feel utterly confused, and I'm longing, so longing for everything. For friends, for someone to talk to, for someone who understands. Someone young who feels as I do. No, Mr. Dussel, I'm not dressed yet. Okay, how does this look?
Fine.
You didn't even look.
Of course I did. It's fine.
Margaret, tell me. Am I terribly ugly?
Oh, stop fishing.
No, tell me.
Of course not. You've got nice eyes and a lot of animation.
A little vague, aren't you?
May I come in? Come in, Mother. Mr. Dussel's impatient to get in here.
Heaven, he has the room to himself the entire day.
Anna, you're not going in again tonight to see Peter.
That is my intention.
But you've already spent a great deal of time in there today.
I've been in there exactly twice. Once to get the dictionary and another time 3/4 of an hour before supper.
Aren't you afraid you're disturbing him?
Mother, I do have some intuition.
Then may I ask you this much? Please don't close the door when you go in.
Now you sound like Mrs. Van Dam.
No, I don't mean to suggest anything wrong. I only wish that you wouldn't expose yourself to criticism. That you wouldn't give Mrs. Fondon the opportunity to be unpleasant.
Mrs. Fondon doesn't need an opportunity to be unpleasant.
Everyone's on edge, worried about Mr. Crawler. This is just one more thing.
Mother, I'm going to Pater's room. I'm not going to let Petronella Fondon spoil our friendship.
Why don't you two talk in the main room? It'd save a lot of trouble. It's hard on Mother having to listen to all of Mrs. Van Dam's remarks and not say a word.
Well, why doesn't she say a word? I think it's ridiculous to stand there and take it and take it.
You don't understand Mother at all, do you? She can't talk back. She's not like you. It's just not in her nature to fight back.
Well, anyway, the only one I feel badly about is you. I feel awfully guilty about you.
What about...
Every time I go to Pater's room, I feel I may be hurting you. I know if it were me, I'd be wild. I'd be desperately jealous if it were me.
Well, I'm not.
You're not hurt? Really, truly, you're not jealous?
Of course, I'm jealous. Jealous that you have something to get up in the morning for, but jealous of you and Peter?
Maybe there's nothing to be jealous of. Maybe he doesn't really like me. Maybe I'm just taking the place of his cat. Wouldn't you like to come in with us?
I have a book.
Will you please let me in my room?
Just a minute, dear Mr.
Dussel. I'm off to run the gauntlet.
Thank you so much.
My God, look at her. I don't know what good it is to have a son. I never see him. He wouldn't care if I killed myself. Just a minute, Anna dear. I'd like to have a few words with my son. Now, Peter, I don't want you staying up all hours tonight. I want you to get some sleep. You're a growing boy, you hear?
Anna won't stay late. She's going to bed promptly at 9. Aren't you, Anna?
Yes, Mother. May we go now?
Oh, you're asking me? I didn't know I had anything to say about it.
Listen for the chimes, Anna dear.
My day was the boys who called on the girls.
You know how young people like to feel as though they have secrets. Pedro's room is the only place they can talk.
Talk? That's not what they called it when I was young.
Aren't they awful? Aren't they impossible? Treating us as if we're still in the nursery.
Don't let it bother you. It doesn't bother me.
I suppose you can't blame them. They think back to what they were like at our age. They don't realize how much more advanced we are when I think of the wonderful discussions we've had. Oh, I forgot I was going to bring you more pictures.
These are fine.
Are you sure? You just brought me some new ones.
Maybe later.
I remember when I got that. I won it. I bet Yopi that I could eat 5 ice cream cones. We'd all been playing ping pong. And we used to have heavenly times. We'd finish up with ice cream at the Delphi or the Oasis where Jews were allowed. There'd always be a lot of boys, and we'd talk and laugh. I'd like to go back there for a few days or a week, but then I know I'd be bored to death of it. I think about life a lot more seriously now. What about you? What do you want to do?
I thought I might go off someplace. Work on a farm or something. Some job that doesn't take much brains.
You have got to stop saying that. You have the most awful inferiority complex.
I know I'm not smart.
That isn't true. You're better than I am in dozens of things. Algebra, arithmetic, and, well, you're a million times better than I am in algebra. You like Margaret, don't you? Right from the start, you liked her much better than me.
I don't know.
It's all right. Everyone feels that way. Margaret's so good. She's sweet and bright and beautiful, and I'm not.
I don't think so.
Oh, I know so. I am not a beauty, and never have been, never shall be.
I don't agree at all. I think you're pretty.
That isn't true.
And another thing. You've changed. From at first, I mean.
I have.
I used to think you were awfully noisy.
And what do you think now, Pater?
Well, you're quieter.
Well, I'm glad you don't just hate me.
Never said that.
I bet when you get out of here, you're never going to think of me again.
It's crazy.
When you get back with all your friends, you're going to say, now what did I see in that Mrs. Quack Quack?
I haven't got any friends.
Oh, Pater, yes you do. Everyone has friends.
Nope. Not me. I get along all right without them.
Does that mean that you could get along without me? Because I consider myself your friend.
Well, if they were all like you, it'd be different.
Pater, have you ever kissed a girl before?
Yes. Once.
That picture's crooked. Was she pretty?
Huh?
The girl you kissed.
I don't know. I was blindfolded. I was at a party. One of those kissing games.
Oh, then I don't suppose that counts, does it?
It didn't with me.
I've been kissed twice. Once a man I'd never seen before kissed me on the cheek after he picked me up off the ice and I was crying. Another was a friend of Father's, Mr. Kufis, who kissed me on the hand. You wouldn't say those counted, would you?
I wouldn't say so.
I know for almost certain Margaret would never kiss anyone unless she was engaged to them. Mother, too, I'm sure never touched a man before Pim, but I don't know, do you think you shouldn't kiss anyone unless you're engaged? It's so hard to decide what to do with the whole world falling around your ears and you think, well, you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. What do you think?
I suppose it depends on the girl. Some things they do is wrong, but with others, it wouldn't necessarily be wrong with them. I've always thought that when two people...
9 o'clock, I have to go.
That's right.
Good night.
You won't let them stop you from coming.
No, I think I'm going to bring my diary. There's some things in there I'd like to talk over with you.
What kind of things?
Well, I wouldn't want you to see some of it. There's a lot about you in there, but I thought about you the same way you thought about me.
Well, did you change your mind? Like the way I changed my mind about you?
You'll see.
By this time, we all know each other so well that if anyone starts a story, the rest can finish it for him. We're having to cut down still further on our meals. What makes it worse? The rats have been at work again. They've carried off some of our most precious food. Even Mr. Dussel wishes now that Mooshie were here. Thursday, the 20th of April, 1944. Invasion fever is mounting every day. Neek tells us that people outside talk of nothing else. For myself, life has become much more pleasant. I often go to Pater's room after supper. Oh, I don't think I'm in love, because I'm not. But it does make life more bearable to have someone with whom you can exchange views. No more tonight. P.S. I must be honest. I must confess that I actually live for the next meeting. Is there anything lovelier than to sit under the skylight and feel the sun on your cheeks and have a darling boy in your arms? I admit now that I'm glad that the Van Dans had a son and not a daughter. I have outgrown another dress. That's the third. I'm having to wear Margaret's clothes after all. I'm working hard on my French, and I'm now reading La Belle Nivernais.
Otto, come quick!
What is it? What happened?
He's stealing the food.
You, give me that!
Poochie, what is it?
You dirty thief, stealing food! You good for nothing!
Mr. Dussel, for God's sake! Help me, Pater.
You greedy,
Let him go!
selfish!
Let him go!
Poochie, what is it? The bread. He was stealing the bread.
It was you, and all this time we thought it was the thieves.
Mr. Von Don, how could you?
I'm hungry.
We're all of us hungry. I can see the children getting thinner and thinner. Your own son, Pater, I hear him moan in his sleep. He's so hungry. And you come in the night and steal the food that should go to them? To the children?
He needs more food than the rest of us. He's used to more. He's a big guy.
And you're worse than he is. Your mother, and yet you sacrifice your child to this man, this.
Ate it.
Don't think I haven't seen you save the choicest bits for him. I've watched you day after day, and I've held my tongue. But not any longer, not after this. Now I want you to go. I want you to get out of here.
Get out of here.
What do you mean?
Just that. I want you to get your things and leave.
Edith, you're speaking in anger. You cannot mean what you're
I
saying.
mean exactly that.
For 2 long years, we have managed to live here side by side. We've managed to live in peace. Are we now just going to throw it all away? And I know this will never happen again, Mr. Von Don.
No.
He steals once, he'll steal again.
Edith, please, let us be calm. We'll all go back to our rooms, we'll all settle down, and we'll find some way
No more talk. I want them to leave.
You'd put us out on the streets?
There are other hiding places.
A closet? A cellar? I know, but we have no money even left to pay for that.
I'll give you money. Out of my own pocket, I'll give it gladly.
Mr. Frank, you told Poochie you never forget what he done for you when you came to Amsterdam. That you could never repay him, that you...
If my husband had any obligation to you, he's paid it. Over and over.
Edith, I've never seen you like this before. I don't know you.
I should have spoken out long ago.
You can't be nice to some people.
There would have been plenty for all of us if you hadn't come.
We don't need the Nazis to destroy us, and we're destroying ourselves.
Give this to me. She'll find you a hiding place.
Mother, you're not putting Pater out, are you? Pater hasn't done anything.
Of course not. When I say the children, I mean Pater too.
I have to go if Father goes.
He's no father to you, that man. He doesn't know what it is to be a father.
I couldn't stay. I wouldn't feel right.
Very well then. I'm sorry.
No, Peter, no. Mother, they can have my food. I don't want it. Oh, don't send them away. It'll be daylight soon. They'll be caught.
Please, Mother.
They won't go now. They'll wait until Meep finds them a place. But if there's one thing I insist on, he must never come down here again. He must never come to this room where the food is stored. We'll divide what we have, an equal share for each. You can cook it here and bring it up to him.
No. No, we haven't sunk so low that we're gonna fight over a handful of rotten potatoes.
Mrs. Frank, Mr. Frank, Margaret, Anne, Peter, Mrs. Fondon, Mr. Fondon, myself, Mrs. Frank.
It's me.
At this hour?
It must be trouble.
And I beg you, please don't let us see a thing like this.
Margaret, Anne, Peter, Mrs. Fondon, Mr. Fondon, myself, Mrs. Frank,
Stop it. Stop it.
Mr. Frank, Margaret, Anne, Peter, Mrs. Fondon, Mr. Fondon, myself, Mrs. Frank.
You're keeping all the big ones for yourself. All of the big ones. Look at the size of that. And that.
Stop it. Stop it.
Mr. Frog, the most wonderful news. The invasion has begun.
No. No.
Did you hear that, everybody? Did you hear what I said? The invasion has begun. The invasion.
Where?
It began early this morning. How do you know? The radio, the BBC. They say they landed on the coast of Normandy.
The British?
British, Americans, French, Dutch, Poles, Norwegians. All of them. More than 4,000 ships. Churchill spoke and General Eisenhower, D-Day they call it.
I can't believe it's come.
At last, I'm going to tell Mr. Crawler. This will be better than any blood transfusion.
What part of Normandy did they land? Did they say?
Normandy, that's all I know now. I'll be up the minute I hear more.
Could they tell you?
Poochie, what is it? What happened?
Please, I'm so ashamed.
For God's sake.
Don't, Poochie. It doesn't matter now.
Come on, didn't you hear what Meep said? The invasion has come. We're going to be liberated. This is the time to celebrate.
To steal bread from children.
We've all done things that we're ashamed of.
Like the way I was with Mother, so mean and horrid to her.
No, Honolyn, no.
Oh, Mother, I was awful.
Not like me. No one's as bad as me.
Stop it now. Let's be happy.
Here. Schnapps. Lakai. Eat it.
When I think of all the terrible things that I said,
No, you were right.
that I should speak that way to you, our friends, our guests.
Stop it now. You're spoiling the whole invasion.
We're all in much better spirits these days. There's still excellent news of the invasion. The best part about it is that I have a feeling that friends are coming. Who knows? Maybe I'll be back in school by fall. Ha! The joke is on us. The warehouse man doesn't know a thing, and we're paying him all that money. Wednesday, the 2nd of July, 1944. The invasion seems to be temporarily bogged down. Mr. Crawler has to have an operation, which looks bad. The Gestapo have found the radio that was stolen. Mr. Dussel says they'll trace it back and back to the thief, and then it's just a matter of time till they get us. Everyone is low. Even poor Pim can't raise her spirits. I have often been downcast myself, but never in despair. I can shake off everything if I write, but, and this is the great question, will I ever be able to write well? I want to so much. I want to go on living even after my death. Another birthday has gone by, and now I am 15. Already I know what I want. I have a goal, an opinion.
There it goes again. The telephone. Mr. Frank, do you hear?
Yes, I hear.
Well, that's the third time, Mr. Frank. The third time in quick succession. I tell you, it's a signal. It's Meep. She can't come to us, and she's trying to warn us of something.
Please. Please.
You're wasting your breath.
For 3 days now, Meep hasn't been to see us, and today, not a man at work. There hasn't been a sound in the building.
Perhaps it's Sunday. We may have lost track of the days.
You with the diary, what day is it?
I don't lose track of the days. I know exactly what day it is. It's Friday, the 4th of August. Friday, not a man at work. I tell you, Mr. Crawler's dead. That's the only explanation. He's dead, and they've closed down the building, and Meep's trying to tell us.
She'd never telephone us.
Please, Mr. Frank, I beg of you.
No.
Look, just pick it up and listen. You don't have to speak. Just pick it up and see if it's Meep.
For God's sake, I ask you.
No. I've told you no! I will do nothing so will let anyone appear in the building.
Mr. Frank's right.
There's no need to tell us whose side you're on.
I believe if we wait patiently, calmly, then help will come.
I'm going down. Too late.
So we just wait here until we die?
I can't stand it. I'll kill myself. I'll kill
Oh,
myself.
stop it, please.
I think you'd be glad if I did that. I think you want me to die.
Whose fault is you were here? We could have been safe somewhere in America or Switzerland, but no, you wouldn't go when I wanted to. You wouldn't leave your things. You wouldn't leave your precious furniture.
Don't touch me!
Look at the sky, Peter. Isn't it lovely? Aren't the clouds beautiful? You know what I do when I don't think I could stand to be cooped up for one more minute? I think myself out. I think myself out on a walk in the park where I used to go with Pim, where the daffodils and the violets of the crocus grow down the slopes. You know what the best thing about thinking yourself out is? You can have it any way you like it. You can have daffodils and roses and chrysanthemums all blooming at the same time. I used to take it all for granted, and now I've got crazy with everything to do with nature. Haven't you?
I've just gone crazy. I think if something doesn't happen soon, if we don't get out of here, I can't stand much more of it.
I wish you had religion, Peter.
No thanks. Not me.
I don't mean you have to be Orthodox or to believe in heaven and hell and purgatory and things, just to have some religion, to believe in something. When I think of all that's out there, the trees, the flowers, the seagulls, when I think of the dearness of you, Peter, and the goodness of the people we know, me, Mr. Crawler, Dirk, the vegetable man, all risking their lives for us every day, I find myself and God, and
That's fine. But when I begin to think, I get mad. Look at us, hiding out here for 2 years. Waiting for them to come and get us. And all for what?
We are not the only people that have had to suffer, Peter. Sometimes one race, sometimes another. And
That doesn't make me feel any better.
I know. It is terrible trying to have faith when people are doing horrible. But you know what I think? I think the world may be going through a phase. The way I was with Mother, it'll pass, and maybe not for 100 years. But I still believe, in spite of everything, that people are really good at heart.
I want to see something now. Not 1,000 years from now.
But Peter, if only you look at it as a great pattern. We're just a minute in life. And look at us, going at each other like a bunch of stupid grown-ups.
Look at the sky now, Peter. Isn't it lovely? I think someday, when I get out of here,
For 2 years, we have lived in fear. But now we can live in hope.
And so it seems our stay here is over. They are waiting for us now. They allowed us 5 minutes to get our things. We can each take a bag of whatever it'll hold of clothing, nothing else. So, dear diary, that means I must leave you behind. Goodbye for a while. P.S. Please, please, Meep or Mr. Crawler or anyone else, if you should find this diary, will you please keep it safe for me? Because someday I hope.
No more.
I'd gone to the country to find food. When I got back, the block was surrounded by police.
We made it our business to find out how they knew. It was the thief who told them.
It seems strange to say this, that anyone could be happy in a concentration camp, but Arno was happy in the camp they took us to in Holland. After 2 years of being shut up in these rooms, she could be free to laugh and play. It's the sunshine, it's the fresh air that she loved.
A little more?
Yes, please. The news of the war was good. The British and the Americans were sweeping through France. I felt sure that they would get to us in time. When we were taken, the men were taken to one camp, the women to another. I was sent to Auschwitz, they went to Belsen. In January, we were freed, so few of us who were left. But the war wasn't yet over, so it took us a long time to get home. We'd be taken behind the lines where we'd be safe, and each time our train would stop at a siding or a crossing, we'd all go out and go from group to group. Where were you? You were at Belsen, at Mauthausen, Buchwald. Is it possible that you knew my wife, my husband, my son, my daughter? And that's how I found out about my wife's death. Margaret, Peter, the Van Dons, and Dussel. But Anna, I always hoped. I met a woman yesterday at Rotterdam. She has been in Belsen, Anna. I know now.
And in spite of everything, I still believe that people are really good at heart.
She puts me to shame.